Baseball is another sport I've kind of fallen out of favor with over the last couple years. A lot of reasons for that. The my team stinks, but even beyond that, I was a baseball fan most of my life with the Giants sucking. You newfangled kids, you remember the Giants from all their championships in the 2010s. Yeah, I was a Giants fan in the mid 80s with Chili Davis and 103 losses and Will Clark and all of that. And more often than not, you had the West title in 87. You had the Bay Bridge in 89. You had the Barry Bonds years and Russ Ortiz being pulled by Dusty Baker against the Angels. But for the most part, the Giants were not that great of a team and did not win their first title in my lifetime until 2010. So it's not like I need the Giants to be a baseball fan. I was just as much a baseball fan, if not more, when they sucked. I don't know what it is, if it's just my attention span has shrunk. There's 162 baseball games, and I just can't get up for them. I dread the fact, maybe it's the job, that we're going to be sitting here in July going over literal baseball games that could not matter less. I mean, this is the horizon that I'm looking at right now, is we're going to have a summer with no football and no basketball and no Olympics, and the A's are going to be playing here, and they're probably going to be at best an average team. I hope I'm wrong. And we're going to be going over, what Shea Langoliers did in Game 73, and let's discuss it. And we'll try to do our best by bringing on the Ken Koraks of the world, and obviously we'll have coverage for you. I don't think we're going to be having the games on. I don't know if that's official or public or whatever. I want to say they announced where they were going last week, but yeah, it ain't going to be here. But that being said, all of that aside, and I've been very public about how I feel about the A's coming here and leaving Oakland, and I hate the relocation, and I hate the fact that we're in bed with John Fisher, and I sports hate John Fisher so passionately. I don't want any part of him, but Major League Baseball is in Sacramento, and it starts in 5 weeks. And you're going to have real, actual baseball here. And I imagine that's going to create a buzz. I imagine, based on how tickets are being sold and for the amount of money they're being sold for and the demand for them, that it's going to be a big deal. I imagine that at some point in March, when the Athletics, can't call them Sacramento Athletics, look it up in the standings, it's just Athletics. When the Athletics first pitch against the Chicago Cubs goes down, it's going to be a big deal. We'll cover it. Like we're kind of toying with the idea of hitting up spring training in a month. We're going to cover it with no snark because it's Sacramento.
Maybe a little snark.
Well, it's some snark. Oh, you're rooting for them. I think it'd be amazing. I hope the A's win the World Series. All 4 years they're here. But it's also going to be it has the potential to be an incredibly unique experience because, and maybe you could say Oklahoma City had a little bit of this during Katrina when they got a team for a couple years. But it's just going to be so weird knowing that we're rooting for and covering a team that is basically using Sacramento as a preseason camp for Las Vegas. And while I want them to do well, and I'd love for them to win a title, or hell, even make the playoffs, provided they play their playoff games here, which is not a guarantee. There's a whole different side of this when we get to year 3 and or year 4. And you're going to have kids that went to their first A's game in Sacramento when they were 6 or 7. And then they have to say goodbye to their team when they're 10 or 11. They're going to almost have to go through, even though it was predicted and known, they're going to have to go through, like, we're literally voluntarily walking into a relocation.
Daddy, why is the team not here anymore, Daddy?
Daddy?
I imagine that's the type of kids that will be able to
Why
go to
are
the
they
games.
are they going to sound like British hierarchy, or
Daddy, why aren't we having the team here anymore, Daddy?
they'll go to Exeter or hang out at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory with their golden ticket? Yeah, it's yes, they're going to roll in or voluntarily
I
roll
want
in,
another foam finger, Daddy.
and all this athletics local gear or whatever is going to become collector's items. And then we're going to tell stories of remember when the A's were in Sacramento. And I know that there are some people saying, well, what if it's a tryout? What if we end up getting, no, you're not getting, it's not happening. The Giants are not going to voluntarily approve. They just got rid of the A's out of Northern California. You get to turn around and get them to approve them staying, and we don't have the money, and we don't have the stadium, and John Fisher hasn't sold. But look, all of that crap aside, we're still going to cover them and have fun, and yeah, and I'll get excited. I will. I'm excited for the city. I really truly am. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's